Hi, I'm Gigi,
And I'm Mimi.
and this is Love
Love
Island
Island
Tea
time.
Time. You crack me up every time you do that. Um, so today it's our very, very, very first episode after both series have finished US and UK 2026, respectively, season 8 and series 13. And we're going to talk about the dating lessons that we've learned from both of the villas. Just so you know, we're going to be mixing that up. But first, we're going to touch on some Love Island news, which also will be both about USA and UK, just to keep it real. And firstly, it's not fresh news, but we've got two breakups since the last month or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
About a week ago, Nicolandria, done and dusted. Done and
Yeah.
dusted. I know people are upset about that because people loved them.
A lot of people are upset and a lot of people did love them. I always felt a little weird about it. I
Same.
never saw it in the villa, whereas I guess other people did, but to each his own. I'm not here to argue.
Yeah.
Just, wish them
Yeah.
well as individuals
Yeah.
now.
And we'll get into that more in one of our next coming episodes where we're going to do a more deep dive into the couples that haven't survived from season 7. And then also we have Whitney and Yemen from All Stars 3 who have broken up. Some people say longer ago. Maybe it was fresher. We don't know because they kind of kept it together, maybe didn't keep it together. But we are also getting deeper into that. But that was a bummer for me because I really loved them together personally.
Same. I did too.
Yeah. But then we also have that episode coming out about everyone who's survived and all the breakups from series 3 of All Stars coming out as well. The big news, I think the biggest news, is definitely Janae and Kenny.
Lord have mercy. I feel bad for her. I really do.
I I feel more angry for her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
it's
know, they
just
say all PR is good PR.
that's true. For me, it's more just like having to face scrutiny and have someone talk about you, literally
Yeah.
all late about things. So,
I think luckily everyone seems to be on her side. Everyone seems to think that Kenny is a liar, including Cordell. But if you don't know, Kenny went on a podcast, the Journey podcast, apparently, and decided to finally talk about his breakup with Janae, which was about a year ago. And I couldn't even be bothered to listen to everything that he said because I was just like, this is exhausting, man. Like, what's going on? And he seemed to be like, I was never happy. I was always checked out. It was always fake, which Janae said last year. She said he was fake and never really liked her. She said that.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, and then he's like accusing her of being abusive and that like she called the cops on him, but then she said he called the cops on her. And then he also invoked Cordell's name, said that Cordell knew about all this, and Cordell came out swinging on Instagram. If you didn't see it, he said, at Kenny Rodriguez, and the text is big. The text is
Mm-hmm.
big. We're not even going to get on how you sat on that podcast and lied the entire time, but we not going to do is lie like I condone anything you did / said after you, all caps, called me. I got on that ass and we haven't spoke since. Shout out to my sis, Janae. Love you for life, girl. And keep my MF name out your mouth. I don't fuck with you, bro. FW, you, bro.
Mm. He pulled a Will
That's
Smith. He said,
condemnation.
keep my name out your mouth. And rightfully so. Because
I
the,
mean,
the only person
mess.
the only person Kenny should be talking about is himself.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I don't understand because the news had been that like she found like really derogatory texts about herself on his phone, him saying like really shady and racist things about her. Everyone
Mhm.
was on her side from day dot. I don't know why he would get back out in this mix with lies. I mean, you have her saying he's lying, you have the other person you're mentioning saying you're lying. So what are you doing? Like, why are you causing this? And Janae's video is like, let's go. She's like, I will lawyer up. I will fight you. Get out of my face with all of that. Because we know this is your fault and you're a liar.
I mean, it gives the bank account is running dry.
He needed
Just
someone to
saying.
talk about him.
Yeah, he needed to be relevant again.
I don't know if he wants to be relevant this way.
Well, you just said.
I mean for her. I meant for her. I meant all PR is good PR for her.
Okay. Not for him. He
Like,
sucks.
yes, this is annoying. Yes, this is painful for her, blah, blah, blah. But all this has done is remind people that they're on Team Janae and that they're rooting for her. And now people are going to be clicking on her Instagram and seeing if she's saying more about it and wanting to know more about it if she wasn't on their mind, which personally she wasn't necessarily on my mind. So, you
She
know what I
wasn't on
mean?
my mind either. And I mean, in a good way. I mean, she was seemingly living her best life at peace.
Absolutely.
So you gotta,
Yeah, she even
here
said,
comes
she's like,
another
I'm on
man.
set. In that video where she's yelling at Kenny, she was like, I'm on set trying to focus on my blessings and focus on me. Keep my name out your mouth. Let's
Mm,
go. Tell your lawyer to answer the phone.
right. And I think if Janae is smart enough, she'll keep it off the internet, even though people are wanting her to be on it. Just like leave
Mhm.
Penny to do that and dig a hole for himself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, man. Meanwhile, on more unproven drama, apparently everyone, quotes around everyone, air quotes around everyone, thinks that Jasmine and Angelista have snubbed the winner of Love Island UK season 13, series 13, by not hugging her, and that in one of the press photos, the girls are clearly closer to each other than they are to her. I don't think it's that deep. I just don't think it's that deep.
I don't think so either, but people love to make a mountain out of a molehill. So there it is.
Yeah, this has definitely been the kind of thing that people have fully, really, and truly chosen sides about how they feel about who acted what way in the most recent season. You're either on Yulia's side or you're on Jasmine's side. That kind of seems to be the thing. Not that they had that much direct beef, but to me, I'm just kind of like, why would they be into each other? Like, why would they be that friendly? They don't have to
Yeah,
be anymore.
yeah. I
That
mean,
last, yeah.
let us remind you that this is not Friend Island. This is Love Island. And I personally, see, this is why we get kicked out of the villa. I personally, I'm not going to stand all buddy buddy and fake next to someone that I don't want to be buddy buddy and fake with. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, the stuff that Yulia started with Jasmine. Also, I don't think Yulia wants to be friends with Jasmine either because she's so paranoid about Jasmine and Lorenzo, unless she's not, and she was just doing it for the drama. And this is the thing. It's like there's no balance with it. And I just like, let's see. Let's see. Maybe they'll all be out on that double date like Lorenzo, Jasmine, Kevin, and Yulia said when they were sitting for their final interview. Maybe they'll just all be
Maybe,
out on that date.
maybe,
Who
or
knows?
maybe not. And either way, it's okay.
Mm, yeah. I just don't think that is that deep. And the things that Yulia said in the dressing room and did to the other girls, I would understand why you would maybe be keeping your distance. I get it. And there were people at the finale who said that even though Jasmine didn't hug Yulia immediately, that everyone was hugging each other after the cameras were off. Everybody was hugging and laughing and joking, and that it seemed like good vibes across the board.
See, so we never know what happens behind closed doors.
Absolutely. And also, I think it's not that big of a deal for Angelista and Jasmine to be showing a little bit more affection to each other. Also, people act like they're literally like side eyeing her or something. They have their arms around each other very lightly in such a way that it almost gives whoever was taking the photos or the producers were like, hey, maybe put your arm around each other or something. Like, or that they just wanted to, but I don't know. They were also just like in the villa together from day one, and they've been
Hmm.
close, close, close friends since day one. Even if they were cool with Yulia or not cool with Yulia, they're not nearly as close to Yulia as they are to each other. I think that's just like common sense.
Yeah, and I think Yasmin, not Yasmin, sorry Yas and Jazz. I think Jasmine and Angelista really formulated that bond heavily after Casa when they both were standing there. You know, they had said to one another, "You were there for me during the whole Casa situation." So they're they were in the same boat and they were there for each other, and I think that's why they're so close as well.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Anyway, that's basically all for the news. If you see headlines about how Sammy was kicked out of the final, it's nothing crazy. Sammy and the other significant others of people on the debrief and on the panel came to the final and then apparently weren't allowed to watch for some reason. Sammy, Harry, other partners were escorted back to holding away from the final, even though they came to the final. So something was going on there, but you know, it's not as crazy as the headline makes it look. They're like, security banned Sammy from the final. I thought that she got into a fight with someone. It was nothing.
Yeah,
Clickbait.
per usual.
Clickbait. Also, there's a clickbait article out there that cracked me up because they were like, first couple to split from the Love Island from this Love Island series. And it was them saying that they asked an astrologer who they thought was going to break up first. And the astrologer said Yasmin and Tommy were going to break up first because they were going to find out that their hobbies and things they do outside of the villa don't match up. And I was like, I want to hear what some astrologer thinks. I thought someone actually broke up.
Right. But that'd be crazy if that
If
astrologer
it's
ends up being
true,
right. Yeah.
we'll see. But now we're going to get on to our main topic, which is the lessons we learned from the Love Island villas. We've both separately written down some lessons that we think were important from both US and UK. And I think that Mimi should start first.
Oh, wow, I'm flattered. So the first lesson that I wrote down is your level of self-respect needs to be stronger than your feelings.
You came out swinging with something deep. Oh my God.
As in, don't ignore the red flags because of the level of attraction that you have for someone. And I'm a Pisces, guys. I do go deep, I get deep. I, you know, I just, that was just on my mind. It's just like, why would you ignore who you are just because you feel a certain way for someone? And
Why
that's
would you
just a
know,
general,
ignore who they are?
that too. Why would you ignore who they are just because you think they're hot and they're your
Because
type
you're
on
trapped in a
paper?
house with them. You're trapped in a house with them.
Then leave. That's what I'm saying. Like,
She wants everyone to walk out of the Love Island villa.
I do, not everyone. It's just, I think at one point Ellie should have left when she said that she was going to leave. I think that's a
Yeah.
perfect example of her self respect that she had and that she claimed she had went out the window. She kept saying, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna leave. You should have left. You should have stood on business. And you should have been like, let that man miss me while I'm gone.
Yeah, I think that I don't know if historically in USA that anyone has like left of their own accord. I can't remember anyone doing it. I know people have threatened to do it. Anaya threatened to do it. Rob threatened to do it in season 6 famously. But you just dumped 3 people. I
Yeah,
just
you
don't
sending 3 home.
I just think that I don't think that it's as popular in the US as the UK because there are people who leave in UK like very actively who are like, I'm going home. I'm
Hmm.
leaving because this other person left. I left for this reason, that reason, whatever. I just do think I think that's a huge dating lesson. And that if you watch Love Island and you're like, why don't they leave these clowns? That you need to make sure and remember that and keep that for yourself. because my little one that I wrote down that is my two that are similar in the same vein that I'll go ahead and bring up are about the sunk cost fallacy and that being chosen is not a prize, which is literally like a lesson that was shouted out loud, but seemingly some people are still with some people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was a lot more this year across the board of women putting up with things that I think were bigger red flags than they think. Except for Melanie.
Yes.
She knows exactly how big that red flag is and she's waving it. She's
Her
marching down
favorite
the
color
street
is
with it
red.
proudly. It's her favorite color. So, Melanie, do your thing. But I thought you dropped a real one, a real piece of wisdom that being chosen is not the prize. It doesn't matter if they choose you after X, Y, and Z happen. Like, it's not the reward. And I feel like I would like to say that to Jasmine from UK.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say that to Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd like to maybe say that to, is there anyone else? Kind of Angelista, but after it came out that Simba was pushed by the producers to bring Mara back or bring
Yeah.
someone back, I maybe not so much because, and maybe that's also why they didn't get any votes because it was said around the villa, but they didn't air it that the
Yeah.
producers made him bring someone back. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it is it's hard because I understand that things are so much more intense there. And it's not like the real world where you can just stop seeing that person or you can actually take a break like Cavan asked Jasmine to in UK. You've got to see them all the time, potentially maybe sleep in a bed with them. No, the US men don't know how to sleep in the outside bed to save their lives when they've done something wrong. It's always a girl sleeping outside, which pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough. It's just rough. But yeah. And then the sunk cost fallacy part was about Anaya choosing Casey over Carl. We all have to remember, and if you haven't heard of it, sunk cost fallacy is the belief that you put so much time and money and investment into something that you should and have to keep going with it because you've already put so much into it, which is something that happens in business as well as relationships, where you're like, well, I've had this friendship for so long. I put so much into this friendship. I've had this relationship for so long. I put so much into this relationship. I can't just call it quits. When really, maybe you should, or probably you should. You know what I mean? I think that happens to
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us all the time, which is like you're saying about your self respect being bigger than your feelings. You've got to remember that sometimes it's not actually worth it. Like you're convincing yourself that it's worth it because you've made it worth it because you've put so much work in.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you're not seeing the lack of from the other person.
Right. Or the red
Which
flags and this brushing that off and going, but I felt so much. I feel like that with Ellie and Finn, like, oh my God, that he should have to do so much work to keep that on the right track because he did not respect her. He did
mm-hmm.
not.
And that's what I was gonna say as well to your response of like, but you're in a house together. Yes, absolutely. And we found that a lot of the time the girls were like, I think in both, maybe not in both, mostly in the UK, where the girls were like, you need to put in work to make this better.
Right.
And it didn't take much. Whereas for
Yeah.
me,
Melanie.
it would take a lot more. It would take so much more. It would like it would take more than a breakfast, Melanie. It
Yeah.
would take more than
More
a
than a
few
few words.
breakfasts, more than a few words, more than a few actions. I just, with the whole Ellie and Finley situation, he had said multiple times that he wasn't going to pursue Alicia or that he wanted to, but he also knew how Ellie felt about it. So that's my argument of just like, if you said, I'm going to leave if he doesn't do X, Y, and Z, then stand on that. Stand on the fact that he didn't do X, Y, and Z, and it's your time to go because he doesn't deserve
Yeah.
you.
And let him follow you out because if he really liked you, he would have left with you.
He would have pulled a Simba and said, you go, I go.
And he couldn't believe that she was leaving. He was like, what? Finley was like, what?
I know,
Oh my
obviously.
gosh.
Yeah, that was
That's
a
a big
heavy hitter,
one.
huh? That's a big
It was a
one.
heavy hitter.
Those
I have a
your
smaller
two were
one.
Mhm.
I have a smaller one. Wear whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
I was so happy because this year felt like the year where the girls really wore whatever they want. We've really deaded off constantly wearing club dresses on Love Island, truly, and being like potentially like hyper femme, hyper whatever. And instead, we were seeing lots of like leather. Jasmine with her shorts and her jeans all the
Mhm.
time. I was like, yes, bring pants to the villa for real, for real. The girls wearing more cover ups during the day, shorts during the day. I was really happy to see that and really happy to see like the standard changing. Even Anaya with her bodysuit,
Mhm.
come on, and some of those Trinity outfits. The time that they said that Kata looked like she was going to go work out, I was like, everybody do it. Everybody wear whatever they want on Love Island, please. I want to see more of that personal style and less of the Shein dresses and the club dresses. It makes me
I
happy.
agree. I agree with that, and I love that. I had brought this to Gigi's attention where I was like, "You know what? Another reason why I can't go into the villa is because I can't be wearing bathing suits all the time." Like, I'm a full-figured woman. I feel like we're still sort of in that in between where being full-figured is lovely, but then it's also still like, according to some people, not not a great look.
It definitely hasn't been found in the Love Island villa. There definitely is not a lot of body diversity in the Love Island villa for sure. And I would love to see some thick girls get some love on Love Island because please, they deserve
Me
love too.
too.
Like, what's
Me
going on?
too. I will say, I think Melanie was the most full-figured that I've seen. Have you seen her behind? Please.
I thought Jen was more full figure than Melanie. Melanie is pretty
Oh, that's
petite.
true.
And
That's
also
true.
Anaya.
Naya's body is tea. Everyone's beautiful. I think
Everyone's
I would just
beautiful.
like to see someone honestly more like me who has a role here or two, who
Absolutely.
has a lot of cellulite and stretch marks and still
Yeah.
have it be like, that's gorgeous. And she's sneezing.
Went on mute for y'all.
Yes.
Um, yeah, definitely. But I'm glad at least we're getting more like what feel like real life going out outfits. Like so many girls wore jeans this year on UK at least. It made me so happy because a lot of us are going out wearing jeans.
Mhm. It's true. And it's cold. I know for sure it's cold at night over there.
Oh yeah, the night the temperature drops for sure. Um, okay. What's your next lesson?
My next lesson, probably one of my favorites from UK. Never let a man tell you twice he doesn't want you.
I wrote that down. I absolutely wrote that down. And I wish Jasmine had listened to herself. We'll see. Prove us wrong, Jasmine. Or rather, prove us wrong, Kevin. No one feels any one type of way about you. I mean, nobody who's saying that you're going to break up feels any type of way about you or that they think you should break up. Like, most of the people who are saying it, we have doubts about Kevin. We don't like that he did you dirty. We don't feel like he's done enough. But maybe we just weren't shown it, you know? Like, apparently there were conversations between them after movie night or after Casa or something. Overall, I read there were conversations that weren't shown. We'll see when they start jumping on the podcast and talking. But
Mhm.
yeah, I heard that there was stuff that wasn't shown and there were more conversations. So fingers crossed that that is the case. But we shall see. We shall
We
see. But
shall
yeah,
see.
definitely don't let that man tell you twice
Definitely
he doesn't want you.
in a real world situation, if a man shows you and tells you that he is uncertain, just walk away
Mhm, mhm.
because you deserve to be chosen, babe.
Lesson learned. Lesson learned. And
Lesson
also,
learned
like,
several times.
and that's the other thing is like, if they choose you after like four times, like, this is where we are with Melanie. It's like the being chosen eventually is not a prize.
Mhm.
It's how you're treated and consistently
Exactly.
shown how they feel. And I think that does also lead into my other lesson. The guy should be obsessed with the girl. Victoria said it so well. I don't think that that's a problem. Like if the girl's into the guy, if the guy seems more into her, I don't think that that's a real problem. I think
Mhm.
that's usually where a lot of the best relationships come from is that the guy is just absolutely obsessed with the girl. It's the guy who's like excited to see you take off your makeup, who loves it when you're in like sweats and whatever. Cause like, those are the real relationships when the men take, cause you know how they're always like, girls will post to be like, why does my boyfriend take pictures of me like this that are so awful? Because they still love you regardless, because they think you're the shit. And that's why
Mhm.
they're like, oh my God, look at you. You're so beautiful eating a cheeseburger. And then you see it and you're like, why would you do this?
Yes.
Why would you
Oh,
do
that's so
this?
cute. Yeah. I
One of
always
my coworkers, her husband made a book of all the photos he took while she was just sleeping, all over the house, random position,
Oh.
just passed out.
Oh, Jesus.
And it was just a book of her like snoring her life away. And I'm like, that's love. That's love.
Yes. I think, well, speaking as a queer woman, I think that's like from a heteronormative perspective, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. The man should be obsessed with the woman. It is different, I will say, in same sex couples or couples who where one person may not subscribe to any gender, they're gender neutral or whatever. It's different. I just want to get that out in the air.
Oh, of
I
course.
personally,
Asterisk Love Island is usually about heteronormative love.
yeah, yeah. So I couldn't tell you in a queer relationship, as someone who has dated women, who should be obsessed with who, because it has gone both ways. And maybe I'm the problem because it hasn't worked out. I think there needs to be a balance, maybe in that situation.
Yeah. Equal obsession is always ideal. I think equal obsession is usually ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's also I think sometimes it's just about how the other person shows it.
Yeah,
I like
that's true.
this comes from Mika and Samraj, and I think Mika was a lot more into Samraj than it appeared. I think it appeared that he was more obsessed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think she's obsessed in her own quiet way.
And she
Like
said she has
she's
difficulty expressing herself.
exactly. So I think there are people who are good at expressing themselves verbally, whereas there are other people who can't necessarily say it, but show it. And I think that's as important if you can't be expressive. It's just show your partner how much you love and care for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What
Love
do you
that.
have any other lessons? I think I actually talked about all of mine because we were overlapping slash things flowed into other things.
I do have one more, and it's a very, very obvious one. Ready?
Say more.
Communicate.
Oh, that is not what I thought you would be writing down. Obviously. Yeah, these people don't talk to each other.
No, you have to have in the villa open discussions about expectations, feelings, and conflicts. Where KC messed up with Anaya was not being honest about how he was feeling throughout his time there. So that's why it
Yeah.
came to a shock to everyone when he came back with Titi and
Yeah.
how,
And when he was moving so crazy in Casa Amor, because we were all like, what?
right. And communication doesn't just go for couples, but it goes for everyone because even Anaya's mom was saying, I don't think you've been very honest with Melanie about Sincere. I think you should be that friend that's like, I'm worried. I see things that, maybe aren't the best. And just even Sincere's friendship with Anaya, he could have mentioned something of like, hey, I don't know. Maybe you should have a conversation with KC because I'm not sure if he's really feeling the same way that you are, or maybe he has, just something. Somebody could have given her a heads up. Y'all could have
Yeah. A
communicated
lot of the
to each
guys.
other.
Absolutely. And in general, it's just like, it's better to be open and honest than shove feelings away. And also, sometimes it's just a sign that your relationship doesn't work.
Hmm. I
if you,
think,
if you feel like you can't say things to each other and you can't come out the other side of it, your relationship actually doesn't work.
mhm. If
Asadi.
if I could have given uh what am I talking about? Oh my gosh, my brain is blanking on the word. If I could have given an award to Priya, it would
Yes.
have been best communicator because she was on it with everyone. She said, "Okay, I had my conversation with you. I'm gonna have my conversation with you. I'm gonna say with that and that and that." Like
Yeah, she let
she did
everyone know
that.
what was going on. Yeah. Everyone
Yes.
knew exactly how she felt. Sometimes even when her feelings were not necessarily the best ones. Where's my coffee?
Mm-hmm. How long does it
She's
take?
very open and very direct. And some people said
Yes.
that's why they think guys were into her, but that's another conversation. Um, I will say that less of a dating relationship lesson, or maybe it still is. What I've learned from both villas socially is that the bar is in hell for men, and for women, it is sky high. Like, the women who made mistakes and did things a little wrong, and even granted, some of the way we talk about the women who take the men back, whatever, but like it's less of an indictment of them and more of the fact that we continue to let the men get away with so much. And if they were just held more accountable, I think the world would be so much better off, because so many men get like these redemption arcs and they do like a little and it proves so much. And it's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So many, it felt like the guys were getting away with murder. And also, when they were pulled up on things in both villas, they would lose their minds. They'd be like, duh, 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 I didn't really do anything that bad. It's always that it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get forgiven.
Right. And I will say Corbin did a really good job at realizing Sincere's actions and checking that. Because
Yeah.
Corbin was also like, you weren't honest with me, and I had your back. And now I look like a fool for having your back. And you moved the
Shock of
wrong
all
way.
shocks.
So I will say,
Absolutely.
Corbin, good on you for holding your boy accountable. I wish I saw that more in both villas as well. It's just
Absolutely. Sam Raj did it a little bit. Sometimes Sam did it. Shout out to Sam. Shout out to Sam Workman.
Sam.
We love Sam. He was holding people accountable. And it felt like a lot of the boys were just like backing each other unnecessarily and then accusing the women of doing the same thing, when what the women did was actually not as bad. When what the women
Mm-hmm.
did was back each other when they were supposed to, whereas the guys got really like in their heads and hive minded and wigged out and would just be like, oh, but you shouldn't be getting on him about that. It was felt really unhinged. More in the Even more in the UK villa, but also in the US villa. Just a lot of double standards and men low standards for the men as well.
Absolutely. And I will say there was a stark difference in when the women were called out and they apologized versus the men being called out. Kenzie, perfect example. She saw everything play out right in front of her. She said, I can't even deny that that's what happened. I didn't mean
Yeah.
to. I'm sorry. I didn't, all of these things. She was very genuine. And even a few days later, a day later, 2 days later, she was still thinking about it, still feeling bad about it.
Yeah.
Whereas the men were like, it took KC 3 days to apologize to Anaya properly.
Yeah. It took him a while to even realize what he did was that bad. And also, just to say, a lot of the men, when they were pulled up on something, would throw the women under the bus about things that were not equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like, but you this, like Sincere going to Melanie, oh yeah, but you don't even remember what you did to so and so before, what you did to Corbin or whatever. And everyone was like, what are you talking about?
Right. Or
Anaya,
the
you haven't explored. Or was it Trinity?
Trinity, you haven't explored. Um, or the Kevin situation with Jordan and Jasmine. It's just like she didn't even give that man an inch.
People
Relax.
really acted like Jasmine and Jordan were up on the terrace making out, saying they were so into each other, but she wasn't sure. Like, she's like, I'm into you, but I'm not sure. I don't want to like fully betray Kevin, so I hope that he comes back. Like, people act like they were making out And like they had seen Jasmine say, "Oh yeah, I want to go to New York with you for Christmas."
Mm-hmm.
And that they were all over each other sleeping in the same bed, blah blah blah. Like, come on. Come
I
on.
know.
Not equivalent at all.
Which I think, to your point, maybe your lesson in summary would just be stop settling for the bare minimum.
I guess I'm just still saying
I mean,
hold more people accountable. Like equality. Let's have some equality. Let's have some critical thinking. Just
mm-hmm.
also, I
Yeah.
think it's worth noting when your partner, who is a man who's being held to a lower standard in life by design, is throwing you under the bus or can't just admit that he did something wrong. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's very concerning. It's very concerning. And that's why, hands up, at least Samraj, when he did really do something wrong, except for his fight with Priya, that's the only thing, that hill that he's going to die on.
Yeah.
He usually was like, I did that wrong. I'll hold my hands up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a different quality of person.
Yeah.
And
For
he
sure.
didn't go, but you did this, except for the one fight with Priya. Which, to be fair, both of them said things were wrong. They should never speak about it again.
Right.
Never.
Please, let's never bring it up again. Thank you.
Oh, man. And I think that's the tea.
That's the tea.
I hope y'all enjoyed this, our actual first episode. There's an episode coming out where I have misspoken, and I'm so sorry because we recorded in the wrong order and I regret it. Um, shut up, Gigi. But yeah, this is our first topic episode where we're not just talking about rewatching an episode or watching an episode of Love Island. But if you would rather us switch to rewatching one series of Love Island or another, I think we're down. We'll have to work out exactly how we'll do it. Probably would have to be like 2 or 3 or 4 episodes that we talk about per episode in order to like get it out in a timely manner. But let
Mm-hmm.
us know if there's a season you really want us to watch. I think probably season 5 UK would be at the top of the list to rewatch because it's so famous, and I'm sure everyone's telling you, "Oh, you just got into Love Island this year. You should watch season 5 of UK." So
Yes.
that's up there on the list. We can switch to that. Just thought maybe doing topics and news would be fun as well. But let us know what you prefer. I'm going to put up a poll on the Patreon, which will be free to view, and then check out our tiers if you'd like to join. Got tiers starting at $1 going to $25 just to see how people feel about us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You can also leave reviews on Apple, rate us on Spotify, or drop a comment on Spotify. And you can also get to us in the DMs real easily right now on Instagram and TikTok. Mimi, where can they find those accounts?
You can find us at Love Island Tea Time on TikTok or Instagram. And if you feel like following us on X, you can follow us at capital LI Tea Time Pod. Our Instagram page does have our link tree as well, where you can find all the links to all the things, including our Patreon. And yeah, thanks for listening.
That's right. That's right. You'll hear from us next week. Bye.
Bye.